All right, Brenda, you ready? All right, the court is going to call 2022 CR 3996, State of Texas versus Dean Pablo Delgado. Can our parties announce for the record for the state? All right, and Mr. Delgado, come forward. And are you Dean Pablo Delgado? All right, you're going to need to keep your voice up. That's what I'm doing right now. We're getting to that part. Thank you, Mr. Stateson. So, Mr. Delgado, your previous attorney, Neil Cathas, they asked to be withdrawn from your case this morning, and you agreed to their withdrawal, and there was no objection from the state. So the court allowed their withdrawal. You informed the court that you needed a court-appointed attorney. Is that correct? And the attorney appointed to you is Mr. Joseph Stateson. All right. Do you understand that when an attorney is appointed to a case, and this being Mr. Stateson's first day, that he is allowed 10 days to prepare for trial? Did you understand? All right. And of course, I've received plea paperwork stating that you wish to enter a plea bargain agreement. Are you waiving or giving up your attorney's right to have 10 days before he proceeds? All right, Mr. Stateson, have you had significant amount of time to confer with your client on this case?
I have, Your Honor, I did.
All right. And did you have a chance to review all of the evidence from the state?
I did, Your Honor.
And did you have a chance to review all of that evidence with your client? And do you believe that your client is aware of his rights through you, the fact that he has 10 days to be ready for trial?
Yes, Judge, I have explained that to him previously.
Okay. All right, counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Delgado, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses? Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him? Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Delgado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, there's to be a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 658820. State will take in consideration County Court Cause number 679858. There's to be restitution payable to Taylor, Taylor, Holly, Holley, Hughes, Raul Reyes, Reyez, Mendez, Mendez. Did you understand that to be the agreement? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Taylor Holly Hughes, Raul Reyes Mendez, John Jay High School, and Cats 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
State offers it to the one and all that.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Right after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I have less- Judge knows he's supposed to be limited to the county. And I spoke with his family, his father's present. He will have a job opportunity for work in the field field. Along with his father and his parents, counties outside. Very comfortable. All of them are in Texas. With that said, we have proof to show employment in advance. Just so the court is aware, there is a document in this court that states that Taylor Holly Hughes, owner of the two sold vehicle by Geico Insurance. Restitution if need is to be requested in the event that there is a no deductible or there's a dispute about the against the amount. We would be asking for a restitution hearing. And that file is on petition. Aside from that, there's nothing else.
All right, state, why is there to be no contact with John Jay High School?
Your Honor, that was a part of the conditions that were put in the file. From my understanding is that this crash happened in the John Jay area. And so I think that was a concern. It was, from what I remember of the case, it was something that occurred shortly before school within the session.
All right, and how old are you? Did you graduate high school? Why not? I mean, there's an answer for that. I'm waiting.
Stop going.
Why? Well, I mean, the truth. Your only job as a child is going to school. Your mom and dad are here, so I'm assuming they allowed you to go to school. So all you had to do was go to school. That was your job. Some people see it as a full-time job. My mom would always say, going to school is your job. So you can unwind and play a little bit when you get home, but then you do your homework. So my question to you is why you dropped out of school? All right. And so when you dropped out of school and stopped going, where were you living? And see, maybe your mom should have put you out, because the rules in our house was either you're going to school or you're getting a job, but you're not going to be sitting around the house getting buzzed, as what I see in this police report, doing nothing with your life. Because that's when people have a sense of entitlement. So meanwhile, I guess your mom and dad were working and you just not going to school, doing your own thing, like you're taking a gap year. If you take a gap year, that's supposed to be after you graduate from high school. You don't take a gap year during high school. Do you understand? And so what drugs have you been using? I'm not talking about at the Bexar County Jail. I'm like, what drugs have you been using in your lifetime? No, it's more than marijuana. So here's the thing. You better be honest with me. Otherwise, let me just tell you what's going to end up happening. What's going to end up happening is I'm not going to sentence you today. You're going to go back to the Bexar County Jail. A PSI report will be filed. And at that time, I'll see what drugs you've been using in the past. I'm trying to set conditions so that you can be successful on probation, because otherwise, if you're unsuccessful, you're looking at going to the state jail facility for 2 years. And I know your parents are here and maybe you don't want to know, but you better tell me the truth. So other than marijuana, what other drugs haven't you been using? What pills? Here's the thing. Now's the time to tell the truth, because let me just tell you, if I let you walk out of this courtroom and I don't give you the help that you need, you're going to end up using it again and you may end up killing somebody, and that's not happening on my watch. So what type of pills have you been taking? You need to speak up so that I can hear you and so your parents can hear.
Call it reading.
Where were you getting pills from?
Someone I know.
And who is this person you know? You need to say, because let me just tell you, do you turn around? Do you see that person in the courtroom? Who's in the courtroom for you? All right. And who else? Turn around. All right. So those are the only people who are in the courtroom for you right now. So right now in this situation, the only friend you have is your mom. So who is this other person? What's their name? All right. We can have this sentencing at the Bexar County Jail, where you go there and then they do a PSI report.
What is the name of the pill?
Oh, so now you know?
I don't know what's the name of the pill. I know that they're called bars.
So have you been doing Xanax bars?
Not since the day I got arrested.
So we have marijuana, we have Xanax bars. What else have you been doing? Alcohol? And what's the name of this person that you hang out with the pills? What is the name? Yes. Yes, you do know him like that. So what is the name? How do you not know the name when I asked you for the name and you said you didn't want to give me the name? Unfold your arms. Uncross your arms. What is the person's name? Because you're not going to be allowed to be around them on probation. And I can tell you right now, you're talking about working in the oil field. Oil field does not accept anybody to be working if you're using marijuana, Xanax bars, and alcohol, because you're working with heavy machinery and anybody can be injured and killed if you are not in your right mind. So what's the name of the person? Give me the first name of the person who gave you these pills. Do you have any younger brothers or sisters? How old are they? Do you know?
17,
And what else?
2,
Have you ever had employment? So how have you been supporting yourself? How are you? Okay, you've never had employment in your life, right? That's either yes or no. So how have you been eating? Because you're 18 years old, and if you have not eaten in your 18 years, you will be dead. So how have you been supporting yourself? Who has been clothing you? Who has been feeding you? Who has been giving you a roof over your head? So what are your plans for your future?
and I will start working.
Doing what? And what if you can't work in the oil fields? Doing what? Do you have any children? All right. Is there any questions from anyone else?
Did you, regarding what you ordered for classes, did you restate what you ordered for classes?
No, I haven't done that. And I'm asking, is there any questions for him?
No question.
I could see it.
Okay. Oh, let me ask you this. The car, I read that it belonged to your aunt. Is that correct?
I believe it said, he said it was the other person in the vehicle, his aunt,
Mhm.
not.
So who do you think is going to pay for that? For the damages? I know everybody's dependent on Geico to pay for that, but guess what? Geico, the person who is that person that they're insured with, they have to pay premiums to Geico. So guess what? That person, Geico is probably going to increase their premiums, which, do I think that's wrong, Brenda? When they've been paying the Geico insurance and paying people insurance? Yes, I do. But that's not how it works in the real world. In the real world, what ends up happening is Geico may pay to fix their car. They may say that car was totaled. And you know what's going to happen if that car is totaled? She's going to end up with a car note because she's going to have to get a new car. And if I could, and if it were within my purview, and if it were legal for me to do it, when she gets a new car, if that car is totaled, I would have you pay the notes on it. Because there's nothing worse than having a car that is completely paid off, and then some Yahoo like you are driving around without a license, going for a joyride, and also being intoxicated in the vehicle, according to this police report. And now they have a new car note, and you're just, well, living your life. I'm not going to have that. You understand? So he's going to go on GPS, and I'm not letting him go to an oil field until he proves to me that he can actually get his life together. And you're going to be placed on GPS, and you're going to get a job. And if you don't get a job, you're not going to be living at your mom's house. You're going to end up living on your own because somebody got to teach you a lesson to be a responsible adult. And I think that's going to be me. You understand? So this is what I'm going to do. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Yes,
Sorry, Your Honor, two things to correct.
yes. There's 2 years deferred adjudication. This is run concurrent with 658820. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 679858. There's to be restitution, if any, and no contact to Taylor Holly Hughes, Raul Reyes Mendez, John J. High School, there's to be 100 hours of community service restitution, and I am not waiving or giving you credit for any of that community service restitution. You're going to have to do it all. And if you don't do it all, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke may be filed against you, and you may end up going to the state jail facility for 2 years. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. GPS, partial for work. And that's going to be with the curfew of 8 p.m. Monday, curfew of 8 p.m. If he is working and his schedule is past 8 p.m., then of course he can be allowed to extend the curfew. And that's Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, it's full GPS, so he is to remain at home. There's going to be regular reporting. And we're going to do the UA hotline until further notice. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month until further notice. And if he does not have employment by 90 days, he is no longer allowed to live with his mom. Mom, is he allowed to live with you? No, I mean, right now, is he allowed to live with you? All right, so he is allowed to live with his mom, but if he is not employed within 90 days or in school full-time, he is no longer allowed to live with her, and you'll need to get your job and get your life together the best way you know how. So he's allowed to with his mother for 90 days. If not employed or in school full-time, then he needs to go to Haven for Hope. Is there anything else that he needs probation? And I'm going to get to the cats 1 and 2 in just a second. Is there anything you need, Mr. Delgado, other than what I'm giving you right now? All right, so here's your cats 1 and 2. And the reason why I'm going to give you cats 1 and 2 is because there's going to be a lot on your plate that I'm asking of you. So cats 1 and 2, you should have already learned this because you're 18 years old. You are not allowed to steal. Do not take anything that doesn't belong to you. I don't care if somebody has a vehicle and they leave the keys in the car. The keys in ignition, you're not allowed to do that. Do you understand? Now, because of your actions, this person is probably out of a vehicle because it's damaged. They're not with it. And even if it is not totaled, it's not fixed. They got to wait and drive around into a rental. And if they didn't pay the right price to Geico, guess what? They have to pay for that rental car. Do you understand? I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Delgado, yes?
On the record,
Yes, we can go on the record.
regarding the order of restitution attorneys, but I didn't see the order of restitution attorneys.
Oh, if the restitution, if there's a disagreement over the restitution amount, then we can have a hearing on it. All right, you're welcome. So we're off the record. Mr. Delgado, you had better change your life and get your life in order. This whole thing where you're buzzing, what you put in the police report, you could have killed someone, killed the people who you're with, or killed yourself. And then your mom would have been crying because her baby's dead. Or your mom would have been crying because you're going to prison for a long time because you've killed someone. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Probation will go over conditions. Thank you, Mr. Statson. Oh, and let me give you this dismissal, Mr. Statson. All right, you're welcome. It's always good to see you, Mr. Statson. Okay.
Some of the big red taking-
Yes, okay. People said they wanted that, so I said, let me, how,
Big red.
oh, wow. And see, one of the persons I know, they love Dr. Pepper. So, oh, well, come back as much as you want to. All right, so Brenda, now we're done for today and we'll be back at 9 tomorrow.